Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we start, look at my new hoodie. Yes, it's a Wicked hoodie. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I want to. Believe me, I want to. Desperately. If anyone has tickets, wants to take me, take me. But that's not the point of today's video. Today's video, a few weeks ago, I finished, my tandem read with Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn, and today we are about to give a review on them. I think I started reading them in April, and I finished in November, like late November. I'm not a fast reader by any means, so that's why, but, I have some notes written down that I'm gonna discuss about because we're gonna be rating and reviewing. So without further ado, let's get into this. First, we're gonna do Empire of Storms. I will say before anything that Queen of Shadows is definitely still my favorite book, but this book is probably like number 3. My list is right now is Queen of Shadows, Crown of Midnight, and then Empire of Storms. This book was so good. This was easier to get through than Tower of Dawn. My favorite characters in this book are probably, actually, I'm gonna say favorite character, Lysandra. And a lead kind of grew on me too. And then obviously we have Aelin, who like, and then I think Rowan definitely did grow on me more in this book, so I'm gonna say him too. But my all-time favorite character of all freaking time is Lysandra. She is a diva, okay? Now, the first topic I'm gonna talk about is like Chaol not being in this book and Tower of Dawn being about him. I personally think this book is great without Chaol because I've seen people say that he needed to be in this book. I personally don't feel like if he was in it, it wouldn't have changed the story much. But even if Chaol was going to the other continent to do war, they could have all went together. But I think he's fine not being in this book. It's great without him. So, yeah. And back to another thing. This was confirmed at the end of Queen of Shadows, I still had some hope that Chaol and Aelin would rekindle, but didn't. But I will say that Rowan and Aelin's relationship is definitely growing on me. Like, I love them. They're so cute together. But this book definitely takes a leap from young adult to new adult. I didn't know that beginning this series. I thought they were all young adult. No. This, I'll just let you experience for yourself. But yeah, their relationship definitely grew on me, and I just love them. They're one of my favorite couples. Also, Manon's character development in this book, we actually get to see more of her emotions. And her and Dorian, not expected that at all, because what the frick? I mean, I'm here for it. I ship them, of course. But I didn't expect it. And also, Manon and her grandmother, I can't tell you how many times I was to punch that grandma in that face. And Manon, she clocked her tea. She did. So props to Manon. Manon's also one of my favorite characters. I forgot to say her. Lorcan and Elite in here. It was kind of obvious that something was going to happen with them. And at first, I didn't know how to feel about it. But then, like, towards the middle, like, the end of the middle, I was here for it. But then, the ending, when I thought that Lorcan had betrayed her, I was like, girl, you can find a better man. Again, I've only read 5 chapters of Kingdom of Ash, and in those chapters, Lorcan did explain that he was not crawling to Maeve, he was crawling to Aelin. So, I like them. They're not my favorite, couple, but they're a good couple. They're just not a great couple, if you know what I mean. Also, I was shocked in Kingdom of Ash when I read that he crawled to Aelin, because I truly believed that he had betrayed them and was still with them. Like, I wouldn't, no, that would not have slid for me. And then, the last relationship I'm going to talk about in this book is Adian and Lysandra. That was unexpected, if unexpected had a term. Like, they're also cute together, but Lysandra, it ended on a bad note. It did. But I feel like they can grow out of it, you know. The last book, I think they're gonna, rekindle and then be together again. But I don't know what other new characters are gonna be introduced, so don't ask me. But they're okay. I like them too. It's just that they were too unexpected for me to be like hardcore ship for them. But also, Aelin, still a great main character. She is gonna be an icon forever. She took, well, I'll get into that in a second. But she is the female main character, because, girl, Aelin is like, oh my gosh. We love Aelin. But the ending of this book wrecked the frick out of me. Like, it ran me over with a train at least 5 times. Because when Aelin was, like, getting whipped and, like, that whole scene, like, it was very traumatizing, but it was very depressing at the same time, and you were also angry at the same time. I don't know. Like, the ending of this book was not what I expected was going to happen. I thought that when I read that Maeve had come up on that beach, I thought Aelin was going to, like, fight her to the death or something. Like, with swords and stuff, and powers, but it didn't happen. And I feel like this ending wrecked so many, I think. And if I do end up rereading this book, I'm going to cry. Again. I'm going to cry again. I will, best believe, I will cry again. But my predictions of how this is going to tie into Kingdom of Ash is, maybe for the first part of Kingdom of Ash, Aelin's going to still be trapped on that ship with Maeve and stuff, and then maybe in the second part they find her, and then she goes with the rest of the crew and then saves the world and kills Maeve and the Vouge and all that. But that's my predictions. I gave this book obvious 5 out of 5. This will be a good book for you to read in the series. Like, you're gonna love this. And again, this was easy to read. Like, so now we move on to Tower of Dawn. I will say this book is my least favorite in the series, next to Heir of Fire. Heir of Fire is right above this, and not by much. Not that they're all bad books, but this is definitely the weakest in the series so far. I kind of felt like it was mostly romance, honestly, because we got Yrene and Kale, Ezran and Sartak, and then how Kashin wanted to get Yrene and all of that. I feel like this was mostly a romance with, like, a subplot of fantasy instead of fantasy with a subplot of romance. Like, and I love the romance in this book, but it's definitely my least favorite. I gave it a 3 out of 5 on Goodreads. The only time I was really on my edge of my seat was the ending when they were in, like, the catacomb things and all that stuff was revealed. It was a big shock. But the other parts was just, like, kind of boring. Some parts were fun. Some parts were like, ooh, but not like, oh my gosh, out of your seat. Except the ending. And this is going to be an unpopular opinion for all the Throne of Glass readers and fans, but the healing, it was not for me. Like, I did not like the healing in this book. Like, all the healing scenes, I just didn't get, like, they weren't it. Like, they didn't hit like I thought they would. Like, they were kind of boring and just kind of the same thing over and over. And then, yeah, I just didn't like it, even though that was like half of the book's premise. But, you know, I thought it would be a little more, you know. But, yeah, and also, another unpopular opinion, I don't like how Kale is, like, disabled. Not to be hateful towards disabled people, I definitely think they should have representation. But for Kale, it definitely gave him some more character development, but like, I just didn't like that he was in a wheelchair. Like, I did not like it. Like, he was, and I thought he was gonna like be fixed by part one of the book, like the end of it. But no, he was freaking like this until the end, and then he gets like fully healed, and then he just gets it right back. Like, what the frick was that? I was so mad. I get why they did it, but still, I was enraged. I did not like it one freaking bit. Also, Nezrin and Kale were not meant to be. Like, y'all cannot be saying that they were supposed to be like this, because they were so, like, calm to call it quits. No, I don't remember if they were like dating or they was just like flirting or it was like a situationship, but they were easy to call it off. So they was definitely not meant to be. And anyone who thinks they were, you can go, because no. Also, my favorite character in this book, definitely Urine, because Urine is like on the same baddie level as Lysandra or England. Like, she was clocking people's tea. Like, she was like the best character in the show. Not show, book. Like, I loved her so much. And then that scene where she pushed Hazar in that pool thing gagged me. But I did think it was gonna be like more. I thought they were gonna like fight or something, and like she was gonna like do something with her power, like Hazar and like all that. But they just went back to their tent and left. If y'all don't like Urine, y'all can also go, because what? How do you not like Urine? The Karn Kui, the spider monsters, were very unsettling to me. I did not like, I mean, I liked the storyline. I thought it was really good, and it definitely connects plot points that were needed to be explained. But I just didn't like, they gave the most eerie vibe ever. That scene in the book where Nezrin and Sartek are like pinned up against the cave walls and in that silk, and like I thought like Sartek was dead, and I was like, no. That was another time I was on the edge of my seat, but those are only 2 times. But that scene was something else. And then another thing that shocked me was how I don't know if I'm gonna say it right, but Falcon and Lysandra are related. Like, I knew they were both shapeshifters, but I didn't know them both being shapeshifters, they would be related in some sort. Like, I was not expecting that. So, that shocked me as well. And another thing that shocked me was Queen Maeve not being the Queen of Fae. She was the Queen of the freaking Bouge. Like, I mean, I wasn't that surprised, but still. And then, speaking of Bouge, I didn't think they were gonna be in this book. I thought that it was gonna be like something, because on the back of the book it says an ancient secret, and I think the ancient secret was that Queen Maeve was the Queen of Bouge, but I thought it was gonna be like something other than Bouge. Like, maybe it could have just been like the spiders to be like the Bouge or something. Like, replace the Bouge. And then another thing that shocked me was when we found out that Princess Duva, I think, was like possessed the whole time, and she killed her sister, like all of that. And I'm honestly glad they didn't kill her, because she had a baby, and that would have just been really sad. And I'm glad she survived and all that. That scene was emotional too, and that's also the scene that had me on my grippers at the end of the book. And then what made me mad but kind of happy was how Urine, like, how Kale sacrificed himself for Garen and all that, and then lost his ability to like walk and all that again. But then it was also sweet when Urine like agreed to bond with him, and like whenever her powers are strong, he can walk, and when they're not, he's like disabled again. I thought that was sweet. That's my rant on the books. Again, this is my least favorite, but it's still a great book. But it could get boring at sometimes, and I also felt like there was too much long chapters. But yeah. But before you go, please listen to what I have to say. Okay, please, because this is important. December is going to be a very booked month for me and my channel. The day you're watching this, maybe if you're watching this on the day it's posted, Sunday, I'll be posting this book review. And then December 15th, I'm very excited to say, I didn't want to do this early because I've been doing it, like I thought I was going to do this later, but I already started writing my second album, and I just felt like I wanted to make some music. So December 15th, I'll be dropping a Christmas EP, and it'll just be like song covers of like popular pop Christmas music, and there'll be 5 songs on there, and you can go, when it's released, you can watch it on YouTube, or you can go stream it on BandLab, or you can do both. Hopefully you can do both. So if you're on BandLab, you can just stream the individual one. And if you're a past viewer and you're worried that it's gonna suck, because my first album did not have the best sound quality, don't worry, definitely fixed. It sounds much better. I've only recorded 1 song so far, but by the time you're watching this, I'll probably have all of them ready, and it'll probably already be set as a premiere on my channel. So yeah. And then on December 22nd is the long awaited thing for my fans and viewers and friends who've been watching me. Long awaited season finale episode of The Unicorn Life will be premiering and dropping on December 22nd. On here exclusively, again, at 1 p.m. like always. And I think it's a great season finale, and I think it's special because this episode was supposed to be released back in July, but we had some drawbacks, which made it being released at the end of the year, basically. So it'd really be appreciative if you could go check that out. And then there's more to come from that. And then on December 29th, I'll be posting a Christmas haul, so if you're interested in those types of videos, go check that out. And yeah, that was my promo rant, and here's the end of the video. So if you like this book review, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, and bye. I love you.